on WOUB.
Now at 6:30, Capitol Police investigate a swastika found in an Ohio representative's D.C. office.
Plus, jury indicts former Trump advisor on classified document charges.
And in sports, there's just 2 weeks of high school football's regular season left. Preview this week's action on the 2-Minute Drill. Newswatch starts right now. Good evening, I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld.
And I'm Parker Davis. Welcome to Newswatch. We all know homecoming's this weekend, so Rachel, tell us a little bit about what we can expect in terms of weather.
Yeah, this weekend's going to be amazing for homecoming. It's going to be clear skies. It's going to be on the warmer side as well, but we'll be seeing some rain coming in on Sunday. And just like Saturday, today was yet another wonderful day for weather here in southeastern Ohio. We are seeing some clouds coming in from the west. That's going to support this rain coming through overnight to Saturday into Sunday morning, but no need to worry about your homecoming festivities. Weather is looking perfect for a wonderful homecoming. Right now, southeastern Ohio is sitting all around the mid-60s. Now it's around our high too, sitting around 66 for our high today. Going into tonight though, we're going to notice we're dipping down into the higher 30s for our low. 37 for tonight, clear skies, and because this low is getting into the 30s, we're under a frost advisory for most of southeastern Ohio. So if you have any outdoor plans, make sure you bring them in tonight to protect them from that frost, but no need to worry about the frost for this weekend. It's going to be around the 80s, which I'll talk more about later on. For now, we're going back to Charlie.
Thanks, Rachel. An Ohio representative's office is under investigation for an American flag featuring a swastika. Capitol Police opened the investigation into Dave Taylor's office after a picture of the flag surfaced from a virtual meeting with one of Taylor's staffers. Taylor says the flag does not reflect his values or standards and attributed the incident to office vandalism. He went on to say the image doesn't reflect his values or standards of his office, and he condemns it in the strongest terms possible. There is no word from Capitol Police on the incident.
The U.S. Senate will not advance Republican stopgap funding bill. This came at a vote this morning. The bill would reopen the government, but it failed on a 51-45 vote, short of the 60 votes needed to advance. Senate Democrats say they won't budge until they get a guarantee on extending the tax credits for health plans, warning that millions of Americans who buy their own health insurance will see large increases when premium prices go out in the next coming weeks.
This just in, the jury is charging President Trump's former national security advisor, John Bolton. Bolton was under investigation for alleged unlawful handling of classified information. In August, FBI agents executed search warrants on Bolton's Maryland home and in Washington, D.C. office, according to court records. Agents seized multiple documents labeled secret, confidential, and classified, including some about weapons of mass destruction. The investigation centers around the notes Bolton made to himself in an AOL email account about his activities when he was working for President Trump during his first term.
Detours are in place on Ohio State Route 388 after a sinkhole formed in Meigs County. Contractors first discovered the sinkhole Tuesday evening while lining sidewalks in Pomeroy Village. Westbound traffic is diverted to Sycamore Street and eastbound traffic is diverted through the Pomeroy Levee parking lot, according to Pomeroy Police. Once evaluations of the scene are complete, officials will have a better idea of how long it will take to repair the sinkhole. Lung cancer is the leading cause of cancer mortality in Meigs County, accounting for nearly 30% of all cancer deaths. And getting screened for lung cancer isn't easy in Southeast Ohio. To help with that, healthcare workers from the Ohio State University are driving across the state with a mobile lung cancer screening unit. This effort is helping screen for cancer in rural Ohio, where smoking rates tend to be higher than in urban and suburban parts of the state.
An Ohio State fan and nurse is being hailed as a hero after performing life-saving care during a football game. Colby Morris saw another fan, Carmen Zone, collapse after climbing to the top of Ohio Stadium. Morris provided life-saving CPR while others Red Cross volunteers located an AED to successfully revive Zone. Experts say CPR can double or triple survival rates.
If you see someone who suddenly collapses, call 911, push hard and fast, because that can mean the difference between life and death.
Panchal says it is vital to provide CPR as survival rates for cardiac arrest are already low, just 1 in 10. Zone says he is forever grateful for Morris and thanked him for saving his life.
7 people and 1 business are indicted on charges of defrauding the Ohio Medicaid program. Among the indicted is Daylene Curtis of Zanesville. She is accused of billing for services when a recipient did not live at the address listed on claims and while traveling or working another job. Curtis also admitted to submitting fraudulent timesheets under her husband's name. Investigators calculated a nearly $30,000 loss to the Ohio Medicaid program.
Ohio candidates in the race for U.S. Senate next year are bringing in millions of dollars since the kickoff from their campaigns last week. Former Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown announced his campaign raised $3.6 million in the first 24 hours, just shy of the incumbent Republican Senator John Husted, who raised $3.7 million. These numbers, however, are small in comparison to other campaigns. Incumbent Senator from Georgia Jon Ossoff raised just under $42 million, followed by Senator Cory Booker with a total of $26 million. Coming up, hackers have taken over PA systems at 4 North American airports.
All right, next in sports, week 9 high school football is here. I've got Josh Herner. We're going to preview what's coming up this week on the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, Grant, we got a lot of conference races coming up, so stay tuned for all of that.
And we had a wonderful day here in weather, but we're going to keep an eye on some rain coming in later on. So stay tuned to see my full weather forecast when Newswatch returns.
How did these homes change America?
I'm Jeffrey Baer, and I'll be your guide
as we go inside 10 homes that changed the way we live. From Taos Pueblo, to Thomas Jefferson's Monticello, to Frank Lloyd Wright's Fallingwater.
Find out which great American homes made the list
of 10 homes that changed America.
Tonight at 10 on WOUB.
It's one of America's most unlikely movements. The fight to convert abandoned railroads to trails.
There's no way of getting something as terrific as a trail without putting some work into it.
A movement that met roadblocks at every turn.
That is prime real estate.
I'm Edward Norton, and this is the story of a national transformation from rails to trails.
Saturday at 9 on WOUB.
I find this dividing of science and art incredibly problematic.
In reality, it's all one beautiful, complex system.
I think we all have a deep connection to the Earth. I'm obsessed with microbes,
space exploration,
environmental reparation.
There is a hole in our environment, the shape of you. Can you fit back in?
Friday at 10 on WOUB.
CasualWorks was not designed, created, or maintained by people who studied disability. They're people who studied opportunity. If a person has very limited movement and can make little teeny circles, there's a place for you. The idea of workers contorting themselves to a job is one business model. Our business model is that the job responds to the worker.
Investigations are underway after hackers took over PA systems at 4 major airports in North America. Hackers disrupted operations, broadcasting unauthorized pro-Palestinian messages days after a ceasefire agreement in Gaza was reached. Lee Waldman has the latest.
Hackers took over the public broadcast systems and terminals at 4 airports in North America Tuesday.
Hacked by Cyber Islam, Netanyahu and Trump. Turkish hacker Cyber Islam.
In this video posted on social media at the Harrisburg International Airport in Pennsylvania, you can hear an automated voice saying "Free Palestine," followed by profanity directed at Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Donald Trump. Cybersecurity expert Chase Cunningham says the incident wasn't surprising because the systems are poorly configured.
It's a great way if you're an adversarial group to get your message out and scare people. That's basically what they did.
Police are investigating the Pennsylvania incident. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy posted on social media that the FAA is working to help get to the bottom of this hack, calling it unacceptable. Similar hacker broadcasts were recorded at 3 airports in Canada.
Typically, the fixes for these are relatively simple, but unfortunately, most of these organizations ignore the basics of blocking and tackling in cyber, and they go after the new, shiny, cool AI-powered solution.
The breaches come amidst an onslaught of cyber attacks on the air travel industry that have caused disruptions for customers and forced some of the world's largest airports to a halt.
It scares me a lot because I know how these systems work and the connections that are there, and it's just a matter of time before things are going to cause potentially life-impacting changes.
In New York, I'm Lee Waldman.
So we're going to get our first frost advisory. I mean, what should people be looking out for?
The biggest thing with frost advisories is just protecting your vegetation. So if you have any outdoor plants that you like to set by the windowsill, tonight's not the night to keep them there.
And will this extend into homecoming this weekend?
Thankfully not.
Okay,
we're expected to get warmer temperatures to come through overnight tomorrow night, and we'll be in the 80s. So it's actually the perfect weekend for homecoming. So there'll be lots of sunshine for during the parade, during the football game, but after the football game, we're going to start to see some rain. So we'll be seeing some rain again on Sunday, not necessarily on Saturday, but we're going to start to see a little warm up come through after this evening. So even though we'll be in the 30s for our low tonight, that won't necessarily be a thing to worry about after tonight. So we're seeing this warm front here coming across from the west. That's going to come through tomorrow morning. We'll start to feel this warm up. It'll be a great start to our weekend, but for now we're also staying dry as well. No need to worry about the rain for tonight, not even tomorrow either. But recap for today though, we're seeing sunny skies today with a high of 66. Going into tonight, that's where we start to see that low of 37. Clear skies to remain then as well. And this frost advisory is in effect from 2 a.m. tonight until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. So it's affecting all counties north and to the east of Athens, including Meigs, Jackson, Washington. Everyone's basically affected from this frost advisory from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. So if you have any plants near the windowsill or outside on your porch, make sure to bring them in tonight to protect them from that frost forming. You can put them outside right after this evening. Tomorrow we'll be seeing that high of 68 though, so no need to worry about the frost. Mostly sunny skies. We're seeing a tad bit of clouds rolling in, but nothing much to be seeing there. Because we're seeing all this nicer weather though, this high pressure system is going to support that. It's going to bring us lots of sunshine. It's going to move out to sea though going into tomorrow, or move out toward the east toward tomorrow night though. Then we start to notice some clouds a little bit rolling in here. That's from this cold front that's bringing some rain across to us. It's not going to come closer to us anytime soon until around Saturday and Saturday evening. So we're noticing this rain band is strengthening out to the west, and then it's going to come closer to us on Saturday. So Saturday is going to be nice. It's going to be clear. It's going to be sunny. It's going to be warm. Just around the 80s for our high. Look at that. It's 68 for Friday and 80 for Saturday. Mostly sunny skies then. And then the rain's going to come through on Sunday. It's going to be widespread with that 90% chance and that low and that high of 71. Heading into next week, though, it's just going to be sunny for Monday, and the rain will be coming back on Tuesday. That's going to be not necessarily widespread, 50% chance of showers, high of 66, and we'll be right back into that fall-like feel. So Saturday's going to be a little bit warmer as well, but then we're going to dip down into the 70s and the 60s later on. Then we'll get right back into that fall feeling. So Monday's going to be sunny as well, and then we'll start to see some rain on Tuesday, and then it'll be some clouds coming in and out between Wednesday and Thursday. 59 and 57. We're really starting to feel like fall next week for Wednesday and Thursday, but we're not going to necessarily see a lot of rain coming with that. Just going to see some rain on Sunday. Not going to affect homecoming at all whatsoever. It's going to be a great homecoming here for Ohio University. It's going to feel rather warm too. It's really perfect for homecoming to happen. So rain will be in and out Sunday going into Monday and Tuesday. And then Monday is going to be our break from the rain. We're going to come back and forth with the clouds, but this weekend is absolutely going to be wonderful for the volleyball and the football games to come this weekend.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Nestle plans to cut roughly 16,000 jobs globally over the next 2 years. Majority of the layoffs, roughly 12,000, will impact white-collar professionals. Nestle says it's focusing on what it calls operational efficiency, opting for automating processes and using shared services. 4,000 jobs will be cut in manufacturing and supply chain to improve productivity. In total, Nestle will cut nearly 6% of its workforce.
President Trump's tariffs are putting an upward pressure on prices and slowing the American economy. But experts say the U.S. economy faces a new challenge. Amy Kiley reports.
I've seen numbers that are starting to hurt the economy.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the federal government shutdown is slowing the U.S. economy. His department estimates the impact is about $15 billion a week. The congressional impasse is dragging on. Lawmakers can't agree on whether to negotiate, let alone on how to fund the government.
I think this will be the longest shutdown in the history of ever.
The Federal Reserve Chair says he's starting to worry the shutdown will make it harder for the Fed to do its job. It relies on data to assess inflation and the broader economy.
We'll start to miss that data, and particularly the October data. If this goes on for a while, they won't be collecting it, and it could become more challenging.
Many experts say tariffs were starting to put pressure on the U.S. economy even before the shutdown. A new IMF report predicts they'll partly cause it to grow more slowly than the rest of the world in the coming months.
Tariffs tend to be significantly worse for the country that imposes them than the countries they're imposed upon.
The IMF says trade deals are lessening the blow from tariffs. Experts say that helped the U.S. stock market reach new record highs before trade tensions with China sent it on a roller coaster ride.
We do have these, I hate to say it, boom and bust periods. And invariably, what goes up does come down at some point.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
If you've noticed your coffee getting more expensive, you're not alone. Retail coffee prices in the United States have jumped more than 20% in August compared to last year. Many coffee bean growing countries have been slammed with tariffs by the Trump administration, including Brazil, the U.S.'s top supplier, which faces an import tax of 50%, and consumers are made to pay the cost.
We've already seen a shift. They're now buying beans and they're brewing coffee at home because that brings down their daily expense.
But it's not just tariffs causing trouble. Shipping costs are also rising, while bad weather and droughts in places like Brazil and Vietnam are impacting harvest and production. And when supply goes down, prices go up.
High school football has entered week 9, and the stakes are high with conference titles on the line. Grant Kiefer and Josh Herner preview the action in this week's 2-Minute Drill.
Temps have dropped this week, but we're sports reporters, not meteorologists. I'm going to tell you this, though. That means the games are just getting more and more important. Josh, let's go ahead and take a look at some of them.
Yeah, Grant, let's start that timer right now.
Yeah, like I said, lots of conference titles can be clinched. We're going to take a look at all 3 tonight that are going to be on the show tomorrow. Let's go ahead and start with the FAC.
Yeah, the conference has been very good from top to bottom this year. So far, the 3 that stick out at the top, though, Jackson, Miami Trace, and Chillicothe. And the most anticipated matchup in the conference is ahead this week with Miami Trace taking on Jackson at home for a chance at a share of the FAC. And Grant, this game is going to be pivotal. Jackson's won 4 FAC titles in a row, 7 out of the last 8, and they're either going to clinch 5 in a row or Miami Trace is finally going to get that first coveted FAC title. And Julian Baker's been the guy who's dominated all season long for those Panthers, 1,400 rushing yards so far this season.
All right, time for the MSL. It's a flashback to 2 years ago with those 2 teams at the top.
Yeah, talk about another super balanced conference. That is the MSL in a nutshell. This year, it's these 2 at the top, though, Bloom Carroll and Hamilton Township. And just like the last game, the winner is also going to clinch a share of the top of the conference this season.
All right, both these teams, they have super contrasting play styles. Go ahead and take us through it.
Yeah, this Bloom Carroll defense has been ridiculous so far this season. They're only allowing 11 points per game. But on the flip side for Hamilton Township, their offense is averaging a staggering 37 points per game. This Hamilton offense, led by Javon McBride and a couple other guys, they're going to have to put up some numbers against a very tough Bloom Carroll defense if they want to take this one.
All right, we're going to fly quickly through these standings, and we have the MVL Big, 2 of the usual suspects at the top.
Yeah, Sheridan lost their first 2 games of the season, but they've rattled off 6 in a row. And guess what, Grant? They're right back at the top again.
All right, last 2 games have had the same stakes. Winner splits a share. This one's a little bit different, though, Josh.
Yeah, if Sheridan wins this game, they clinch the conference outright by themselves. Tri-Valley still has one more conference game against John Glenn, so if they win this week, they still have to win next week in order to clinch the conference outright by themselves.
All right, timer stopped. Josh, another great week, week 9. All sorts of conference title races are going to be decided this week on this week's episode of Gridiron Glory. It's a must-watch. Tune in at 11:30 tomorrow night on WOUB. Let's go ahead and send it back to you.
Next on Newswatch, a local author, a new children's book, and one special guest will join us live in studio to share the importance of everyday actions that can help protect local nature.
It used to be that the other guy had a bad idea.
Now the other guy is a bad guy.
Can does not mean should.
Decision time. You got to make a call.
Criticism is legitimate. Threats are not. I've had death threats.
If this is the way we're going to start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
The Electron Solar Farm.
With executive orders.
Good evening. I'm Jeff Bennett.
And I'm Amna Nawaz. I'm Margaret Hoover.
I'm Christiana Manfou in London. Bring us up to speed there.
Israel is vowing serious consequences.
Did you get a commitment from President Trump? We have to work on it.
When that story is told, it will be easier for us to see each other like the people who came before us.
Today, we live in a time when meaningful discourse is needed more than ever.
Is this just, at the end of the day, very smart politics?
It's, never compromise on the accuracy.
This is the story of modern war, how it's fought and how it's changing us.
If this is the way we're going to start breaking the ice, then let's do it.
Every modern constitution has explicit gender equality protections except the United States.
More women than ever before were sworn into the Virginia General Assembly, vowing to reverse 46 years of failing to support the Equal Rights Amendment.
This is a vote of a lifetime. The question is, what side of history do you want to fall on?
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Kit the Keystone. It's a new children's book launching to help kids rediscover the beauty of nature through environmental storytelling. Joining us live in a little bit more about the book and the importance behind it is author and naturalist Jess Leapson, and the manager of the Hocking College Nature Center, Jessica Hughes, will join us with an unexpected guest.
So can you talk to us a little bit about the importance of keystone species in keeping the local ecosystem healthy?
Yes, I would love to, and thank you so much for having me today. So actually, keystone species are incredibly important because they actually help create ecosystems where other animals can live in and thrive. So with Kit the Keystone, a story about a baby beaver who discovers that they're incredibly special because they're a keystone species. They end up befriending some of the wetlands and the characters that live there, and so they find out how important they truly are to that ecosystem and how they're all interconnected.
I love that so much. So for the beaver, tell us why you chose, out of the keystone species, why a beaver?
Yes, actually, it's a funny story. So I was recovering from a surgery, and I was just sitting on the couch stressing out, thinking, how in the world am I going to recover? And all the thought, the anxiety comes and all the things, and everything just got very clear. And I thought, I'm going to write a children's book, and it's going to be about a beaver. So it just kind of hit me like a bolt of lightning. But it was truly inspired by when I lived in Indiana at the Howell Wetlands. And I actually saw a baby beaver there. And the people that ran it, they actually walked to the beaver den with me, and they knew I was writing the story. And so they actually reviewed it, Wessel and Woods, for environmental accuracy. Except for the talking animals.
Yes.
Except for that part.
So we have a friend here with us today, Olive the owl. Can we hear a little bit about Olive?
Yeah, absolutely. So Olive is 5 years old. She was unfortunately hit by a car in 2020, which is unfortunately a very common way that we get raptors in human care. But Olive was hit when she was a juvenile, and then she went to Houston Woods State Park where she was rehabbed, and then she moved on to Hocking Hills State Park, and then eventually made her way to us at Hocking College Nature Center in the year 2021, and has been with us ever since. And she is a absolutely fabulous animal ambassador for her species, and she really helps folks understand the role of raptors and kind of what we need to do to preserve them and conserve them in the wild.
Yeah. What are some of those local keystone species? You know, obviously we have an owl here today, but what are some of those other local keystone species that we see in Southeast Ohio?
You know, that is a fantastic question. So we have beavers are really a really big one. With how they create wetlands, they're chopping down trees, they're damming up rivers and, you know, kind of making those areas. So those are definitely one of the absolute biggest keystone species that you're going to see. There are a few others that, you know, we don't really see too much down here in southeastern Ohio. Out west, they actually have a species called a firehawk that will grab pieces of burning brush and things along those lines, and they'll drop it into grasslands, and they'll catch grasslands on fire, and they'll start wildfires. So that's another keystone species. Obviously not here in Ohio, but definitely one of my more favorite species.
Well, Jess and Jessica, thank you guys so much for just giving us a little bit more information about that. And it's honestly amazing to have an owl in studio.
It made my day, that's for sure.
Yes, truly. And if anyone is interested, the event is this Saturday at Hawking College Nature Center, where you can meet even more animal ambassadors including an owl, skunk, and box turtles. And here's what's coming up on your local broadcast station.
We're looking for 6 robbers and 3 tons of gold.
Now is the time for you to become the king you should be.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB. For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
It's showtime. The clock is ticking and the regular season is quickly coming to a close. But don't worry, we still have some big games ahead. Over in the FAC, the top dogs, Jackson and Miami Trace, look to take control of the conference. The MSL Buckeye and Cardinal have their top 2 teams, Bloom Carroll and Hamilton Township, and Grove City Christian and Fisher Catholic, all going head to head. The stakes are getting high and the conference champions will soon be decided. So make sure you stay tuned because there's nothing better than Friday nights and gridiron glory.
Well, you know, looking into this weekend, is it going to be good weather out there in the wild for some of our keystone species?
Oh, absolutely. They will love all the sunshine and the warm temps while it's here, because it's not expected to last too long, but they will be seeing some rain later on Sunday as well.
Gotcha.
Very interesting. Yeah, well, the keystone species, was just so sweet to learn about them, and it is interesting in Ohio just how that it can have that effect on them. But yeah, just a little bit more about what we can expect more this weekend and see.
Yeah, so tonight is looking relatively clear. It's going to be a low of 37, and because of that, we'll be under a frost advisory up until from 2 a.m. to 9 a.m. tonight into over morning. So if you have any plants that are on your porch and near your windowsill, make sure you move them out the way for this evening. You can put them right back, though, after 9 a.m. tomorrow. We're seeing a high of 68, mostly sunny skies. Now continue on into Saturday. We're seeing that high of 80 for homecoming here at Ohio University, and then we're going to start to see some showers come through on Sundays, pretty widespread for our area, and Monday we start to see some sunshine, catch a little bit of showers on Tuesday, and we'll start to see some clouds rolling in after that.
Well, that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. For Rachel Grant, I'm Parker Davis.
And I'm Charlie Ehlenfeld. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. Have a great night.